The other historical aspect of the island, I suppose, was the Fulloch, as I mentioned earlier, the Fulloch Fields, because these were, from what I understand, were ancient cooking sites, and they were pre 5,000 years ago. There was nothing, I suppose, cooking utensils didn't exist or whatever, and anything like what we have now was the farthest thing from anybody's mind. But the Fulloch Fields were designed to cook, and maybe they were using them for other means, but definitely they were mainly for boiling water. They dug a pit in an area of ground which was surrounded by forest, and sometimes they might have lined the pit with flags, stones, and they filled the pit. That pit would be filled with water. Then they built a fire, a huge fire of timber, and they put rocks into the timber, or into the fire, big rocks into the fire. They'd be able to roll them in or whatever. Maybe they were sized big enough maybe to carry by hand or whatever. And they throw them in there until they were red hot. And they rolled them then out of the fire into the water. And it brought the water up they used to bring the water up to boiling point. And then they'd cook their fish in whatever way, or cook their meats in whatever way they could keep them together, or keep it together. They cooked them in that pit. And that was the whole purpose of the Fulloch Fields. And it said that the wild boar was the main source of food at that time, and perhaps maybe sheep or whatever, maybe beef and things like that. But wild boar definitely was their main cooking, the main cooked meat at the time. But there was obviously a lot of that on Clare Island, because the island definitely has a lot of forest.
Are there many of them sites?
There's 62 of those sites.
62.
You see, this is why they can find it very hard to understand how so many of them are on Clare Island. There must be a very sizable human population on the island at the time. Mm. Because I know in a lot of the country places, and big places which you thought would be very well populated, there are very few of those. Very few of those at the moment.